Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. This is the first student that had submitted the project paper together with the checklist. So if I look at the checklist, it seems that all of the information in the checklist has been ticked. Means that this particular student already addressed the all of the important points in the checklist, but I would rather check the work that has been done by the student. Therefore, we are going to look at this report, and we should have a look at the areas where the problem occurs in this project paper. It is not intended to name and shame anyone, so it is just for educational purpose, and it is for the other student to benefit from this video, so that they are not going to repeat the same mistakes again. Okay, so I in fact congratulate the student because she tried very hard to complete the project paper in the best capability that she can. Nevertheless, there are some area of improvement or some mistake that I have detected in the project paper, and it is not for, I mean that once I detect the problem, it doesn't mean that I'm happy because I will be able to detect the problem. No, it's not like that. I hope that by finding the problems or the mistakes, you will be able to correct for it, and once you submit the project paper to the MFPC, you will submit the perfect one. So we are going to help you to actually try to find ways on how you want to reduce the mistakes in the project paper itself. So this is the cover letter, and it seems that no problem with the dates. It's not his her personal name. Alright, so I can see that the table also look good, and it seems that the page number is organized. Alright, no problem here, it seems. Okay. Alright, so this is where I would like to give a comment. Number one is where, you know, in the goals and objective, try to avoid of using percentage. This is because you claim here that you increase the percentage. Okay, so this is comment number one, that is on the percentage. Make sure you try to avoid using this percentage. This is because if you include the percentage in the objective, it is sometimes some things like you are already sure. I give you an example. As for this case, increase your net cash inflow for 10%. I want to ask you, are you really increase the net cash flow for 10%? Because majority of students didn't check whether the percentage increased by 10% or not in the net cash flow after your recommendation in the debt and cash flow management. So if you're not sure, and majority of students, unless if you're sure, only then you can include this 10%. But what if you are not sure, you're not checking, and suddenly you include this 10%, it will trap yourself. Okay, so my advice is to avoid of using this percentage. Okay, you can say that to increase your net cash flow and improve your cash flow liquidation, but you don't need to include the percentage, especially if you yourself not sure, you didn't check on this. So this is something I don't want you to trap, and you should actually try to avoid of using it. Same goes to this. You see, you mentioned that it is 10% of the income generated from investment as compared to present. Are you sure that you actually increase 10%? You calculate? Do you calculate? Have you calculated the percentage? If you really calculated and you can prove it using calculation, same goes to this. If you really calculated and you can prove it that you increased by 10%, then you can include this. But if you not sure it, and if you didn't calculate for this, you are not supposed to include the statement like this. Okay, these students use 77%. In the past, I said that it's better to use like 75 and 70, 75, but this is not too bad, so you can retain. Another thing, if you see the font here and here, the size is different. This is a bit smaller and this is a bit bigger. So it is in terms of format. Please correct for this. Alright, so let's have a look at other document. Okay, I expect that all of this information are similar as in the fact finding sheet. Okay, so this is a net worth statement. Alright, cash flow. Okay, alright, so if I look at the personal ratio, it seems that all figures are under control. I mean that it is a good financial ratio. Okay, healthy financial ratio for the client. Okay, and I see that the student tried to write in a very professional way. This is something that I'm very happy to look at. Alright, she's very diligent in her work, and she's actually tried to do her best and try to check on everything. Okay, alright, so next is about assumption. The correction is on assumption here, is where, you can see here. Alright, this is actually my own notes. You are going to use this rate of ratio. This one, the blue color, is actually my own personal notes. Why I include this note? Because I want the student to make sure that they understand what is the purpose of this percentage. So that's why I include my own personal notes. So you have to remove this. And the word during here is actually not bold. I'm the one who changed to bold, so that's why you have to change to normal font. Okay, you have to unbold this. Same goes to this, same goes to this. This is actually my own word, and you have to remove that. Okay, this is the risk tolerance. Okay, alright, this is something I would like to comment. When I explain to you that you have to include in the column, in the case of death of husband, in the case of death of wife, let me explain it one more time. This seems that your table is confusing, which means yes, I say that you have to include in the case of death of wife, in the case of death of husband. The placement of in the case of death is wrong. So you have to look at this table again. Alright, in terms of arrangement, let me explain to you. When I say in the case of death of husband and wife, it means, I repeat again, this Mr. Lee Dong-woo is a husband. Okay, so it means in the case of death of Mr. Lee. Okay, so do not write like this, in the case of death of wife, in the case of death of husband. You have to write in a proper way, because this is wife and husband. You have to put the name. I give you an example. Okay, so in the column should be like this. Okay, in the case of death of Mr. Lee Dong-woo. So this is the correct one for you to include in this table. Okay, in this column you should write in the case of death of Mr. Lee Dong-woo. This column, I repeat, in the case of death of Mr. Lee Dong-woo, which means when Mr. Lee Dong-woo or the husband die. So this is incorrect, yeah. What you put here is confusing, and you should correct for this. So we assume that this is the column if Mr. Lee Dong-woo die. So this is the final expenses for Mr. Lee if he die. This is the mortgage loan belong to Lee Dong-woo. This is the car loan belong to Lee Dong-woo. This is the education that Mr. Lee Dong-woo have to cover if he die. Okay. Therefore, if we look at the income replacement need, if Mr. Lee Dong-woo die, the wife is the one who will get the replacement need. Okay. If he die, how much should be the income replacement need for the wife, because the wife still alive. Okay, this is what it means. So if we look at this student, this is the in the case of husband die, but husband here got income replacement. Cannot, because husband die already, so no need an income replacement. So please check again on the placement of the information here. Okay, again I continue. In the case of Mr. Lee Dongwoo died, then what will be the income replacement need for the child, because child still alive, and this will be the life insurance belong to Mr. Lee, okay, belong to Mr. Lee. Look at the life insurance belong to Mr. Lee. Look at the EPF belong to Mr. Lee, and all of these things are resources. Here in this column are actually resources belong to Mr. Lee. And the car also belong to Mr. Lee because Mr. Lee died, therefore we sell Mr. Lee car. Okay, so please revisit this total list approach and make sure you check the information again, make sure the accuracy of the information, and if necessary then change the recommendation respectively, because obviously if you change the value here, the shortfall will change and will also affect the portfolio or your recommendation. Okay, that is very, very important. Insurance, retirement, education, investment, estate, all of these are main components in the project paper. Okay, let me continue with other parts. Okay, it seems that I have no comment. The student already put notes here, and I think it is very, very helpful. The students already try hard to complete the project paper, and it seems that the client didn't want to include the unit trust, and the student also mentioned clearly that the client don't want to use the unit trust in the retirement. Alright, so this is information about the investment. Okay, and this is 2009, and once client, this is the revised net worth statement. Therefore, if we look at revised net worth statement, you compare between 2019 current year and 2042. Alright, so you calculate here. Alright, this is what I want to show you. Alright, so if you look at this, the net worth here is this 1314803, and this figure, but it seems that this student is using another numbers. Alright, so I would like to remind you to make sure that you are looking at the net worth and not looking at the total liabilities. So this is wrong, okay? Because the student, you see the notes here, you will note that your net worth increased from 17, so actually you are referring to this, which is incorrect. You should refer to this column on the net worth, because you are actually focusing on the net worth of the client. Okay, the tax planning, it seems that I've checked before that the student already tried to put a explanation about the tax. Okay, but another things I would like to share with you here. Alright, now you can see that 2486, okay, 1835. Let me calculate. Okay, so the total is 4321. Alright, therefore when you put a comment here, 4321, this is correct because you add both husband and wife, so it is wiser to put the notes here 4321 and be more specific, like for the wife is 2486 and for husband is 1835. Okay, alright, I've checked this part before, and it seems that there is no issues that I want to comment, because it seems that the student already try, as I said before, to make it as perfect as possible, but some other things I spotted like typo error, okay, like in the page 81. Alright, another things is here. Okay, so on reviews, you can see that it is February 2019, which is incorrect, because the cover letter is in 2020, therefore it is like 3 months after the date. So let's say the cover letter stated in August, so therefore this is 3 months after that, should be in 2020 as well. Same goes to this. Okay, so this is let's say the cover letter is August, September, October, November, so here should be November 2020, and this is like every year, 1 year after that. Okay, so you have to correct the date here. Alright, okay, page 81, the notes are very good and very complete. 81, let me see. Okay, you can see that student already included the text and the document to support, and page okay, like this spelling error, then you have to correct for that. Okay, and if I look at the fact finding sheet in the page 95, alright, okay, it seems that this is the educational fund for the program of the bachelor for 4 years. The figure is this figure, okay, 67,000. But if we look at the part here, okay, so this is the amount in today's ringgit, that is 47,532. Okay, so I would say that